Radio check.
Yeah, go ahead, radio check. Yeah, 10-4. It's been a while since we've done one of these. This is Trucker Stories. All right, what are we talking about during Trucker Stories? What's this all about? You know, they used to have me a script. Where is that script? Is it over here? Do we even have it anymore? Hello, friends. Once again, it's time for a trucker story, a story passed on by truckers, a story most often embellished as the story is passed down through time. If you have a trucker story, feel free to send it to us, FBTV at freightbrokertv.com. This week's trucker story, this episode's trucker story, I should say episode, not week, because if I say week, it implies that we do a trucker story every week, and that's just not been the case. But this is my story. I was traveling westbound on Interstate 40, going into California. As everyone knew at that time, you stopped in Kingman, Arizona. You topped off your tanks. You filled up because you did not want to buy fuel in California. Still don't, as far as that goes. You know, I saw a podcast or something here the other day, a couple of jokers talking about trucks not wanting to go into California. Well, they've never wanted to go into California. Matter of fact, it used to be a joke. My trainer, he taught me this, and I passed it on through the people I trained. There used to be a small pull-off, a rest area there, right at the Arizona-California line. And as we neared that, I would tell my trainee, and so we don't have time to do it today, but anytime you can, you want to make sure you pull off into this rest area. You walk out toward the west. It's kind of a trail. You'll see it. It's about 50, 75 yards toward the west. And you're going to find a sledgehammer on a chained down to a concrete block there. And you're going to see a huge, it almost looks like a railroad spike, but it's a lot bigger, in the ground. You are supposed to take that sledgehammer, pound that stake in the ground a couple of times, then go back to your truck and proceed. And the trainees would always look, you know, well, why are we doing that? Well, I mean, what's the deal? What's the story? Why do we do that? And it always end up because what we're trying to do is, you know, break it off so California floats off into the ocean. And it's nothing against anything in California. California is a great state. It's just, you got to admit, even if you live there, you have to admit, it gets a little wacko out there. And fines and tickets and speed limits and, you know, you got that Hollywood mentality, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, you get out there. Now, when I traveled that route, there on 40 in California, between, you know, specifically Needles right there in Barstow, what was it, about 150 miles, I think, of desert. There was that little town in between, but I can't remember the name of that town now. But anyway, we'll look for it. But, yeah, between Needles and Barstow, the speed limit's 55 for trucks and 65 for cars. And I always tried to drive it at night because it just got too hot, you know, in the daytime. It just got too hot. You could blow tires out if you weren't careful. But every once in a while, I did have to drive that route during the daylight hours. And if you're there on the weekend going in, you know, if you're delivering on Monday morning, you're going down through there Sunday afternoon, whatever. And you'll get in with the lake crowd. The people that have been at the lake all day. What is that? Lake Havasu, I think, over in Arizona, where they go to with their boats and jet skis and stuff. But these people on 40 going back toward Barstow on 40 there, westbound on 40, just didn't have a clue. You know, hey, heat, that sun is out. Hey, the temperature might be 105. That means that blacktop, that pavement, it's going to be scorching, man. You don't want to be you don't want to be generating more heat on those tires, because what will happen is the air inside the tire will expand and you'll blow out the tire. Just perfect storm. And these people coming back from the lake, pulling their nice boats and jet skis and whatever, 75, 80 miles an hour, and you just shake your head knowing that here in a few miles you're going to pass them. They're going to be on the side of the road, blowouts on their trailer, and it never failed. I'd say majority of them were. But anyway, that sounds like a trucker story, but it really isn't. The trucker story goes on from there. You get to Barstow, going down the interstate, going down the hill. You get to El Cajon, you're going down to El Cajon, dropping into Riverside. So there I was, dropping into Riverside, made it down to El Cajon, and they put that weigh station right there at El Cajon, right in the middle of that downgrade, where if you're smoking your brakes or, just really make it difficult. I used to really not like that weigh station at all, but you really paid attention to P's and Q's, so you weren't smoking when you went in there. And when I say smoking, I'm talking about your brakes. If your brakes are smoking, you're going to be in trouble. So anyway, you get down at the bottom of the hill, take the Riverside, and I guess I'm going 68, 70 miles an hour. Speed limit's 55 for a truck. And lo and behold, I look at my rear view, and there's a California DOT pickup truck. Blue lights flashing, they got me. I look down, I'm going 68, 67, something like that. So they got me. So I pull off. And I'm never one to back down, I'm not going to argue with them. Hey, they're doing their job, the DOT are, the cops are. They're doing their job. And if they got me, they got me. Not going to argue about it. So he was a nice chipper, a nice chip, California Highway Patrol, chip. Makes you think of that tune, da da da, or whatever it was, chips back in the 70s, 80s, whatever. Hard to believe we really watched that show, but anyway. So he's saying, listen, I'm going to have to give you a ticket. Do you know how fast you were going? I go, well, when I noticed you, I was around 67, 68. He goes, yeah, I clocked you at 69. He goes, I'll give you 65. I'll give you 65. All the trucks out here pretty much know I'll give them 65. I had heard that in the past, but I wasn't about to test it. But anyway, he goes, I'll give you 65, but I'm going to have to write you up going 69. He goes, but he said, I'm going to give you a break. I'm only going to write you up for 65. Okay, I was trying to compute this in my head, going, well, okay, if you're going to write me up for 65, and you usually give trucks 65, why not just let me go? But he didn't see it that way. But anyway, neither here nor there. So he said, here, we are in a high-speed pursuit. I'll turn my radio up so you can listen while I write you this ticket. And he did. He turned it up, and you could hear the pursuit. And I couldn't help but think, hey, a ticket and a show. A ticket and a show. That's today's trucker story.
I don't know. Sounds like a trucker story to me.